Okay, here it is, your homework. This is the exact same question from your test. So suppose your family are visiting your grandparents for Christmas. Your parent your parents drove 60 miles per hour. That means each hour for 1 hour it goes 60 miles for 2 hours when you got to your grandparents' house. Okay, so 2 hours is important. Grandparents' house not as. Okay, you stayed at grandparents for 4 hours. So you stayed there for 4 hours. After visiting after visiting, your family headed back home. Your parents drove 40 miles per hour all the way home. Okay, ignore this because that I should have changed that and did not. Driving time in hours, zero driving time means 0 miles. 1 hour driving, they went 60 miles because they're going at 60 miles per hour. So that at 2 hours, now after 2 hours, there will be 120 miles. At 3 hours, now they're at their grandparents' house, okay, for 4 hours. So for 4 hours, the time doesn't change. So 3 hours, that's 1 hour. 4 hours, that's another 2, 3, 4 hours. So 4 hours altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4 hours altogether. Oh my goodness. Um, and then after that, they drove all the way home at 40 miles per hour. So I minus 40, that should be 80. Minus 40, that should be 40. Minus 40 should be 0. So it takes them 9 hours. How do I get rid of this sound effect? Okay, take them 9 hours to get, they spent a whole day basically not of 9 hours. So let's make this table. First thing you should do is label the independent and dependent variable. Independent is driving hours, time in hours, driving time in hours. Okay? And then I don't know why the sound effects keep showing up. What annoying. Okay, driving distance. Okay, driving distance. Anyway, driving distance in miles. Okay, so all the way up to 120. So I'm going to count by 10 because that's 20 of them. So that should fit. So each one is 10. So this is 20 then. Here's 0. 40, 60, 80, 100. Oh, that looks like 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. Okay? Okay, driving distances. Okay, 1 to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Should make, 2 of them for an hour, but whatever. Most of you are going to use one box for 1 hour, knowing you guys. Okay, 0 for 0 hours would be right here. And then 1 for 60, be there. 2 for 120. Then 3 still at 124, still at 125, still at 120. 6 is still at 120. And 7 is stayed 4 hours. My sister's calling me. Oh, okay, I'm going to finish this and call her back. My goodness. She may be having a baby. Okay, I need to hurry. Okay, 80, and then 7 is 80. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 at 4 hours there, 1 hour. And then 8 at 40, and then 9 at 0. Okay? Draw that like that, like that. Okay? And then I'll write an equation for the slope. Okay, now the easiest one for me to represent is this flat one, the one at grandma. Write an equation, represent each piece of the graph. Okay, well, the piece of the graph that I know for sure is one of the equation for the piece of the graph from, if you want to label this for me, you don't have to write it algebraically. If you want to, you can go 0 to 2 hours. That equation is the slope-intercept. Here I don't need to use point slope because my y-intercept, y equals to mx plus b. My y-intercept is at 0, so b is 0 plus y equals my slope here. My slope is 60 miles per hour, so it's 60, you know. But if you don't see that, if you have any doubt on how to do this, you can always, you don't have to write this piece for the test, the domain. You don't have to write the domain, but I'm writing it for you to see. But if you're in doubt, always use point slope 0, 0, and either 160 or 120, whichever one, and use point slope for it. Your slope, then you can find, if you don't know that it's 60, right here, if you notice it's 60, so 120 minus 0 over 0 minus, 2 minus 0 equals to 120 over 2. M is then 60 miles per hour. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? From there you go, okay. Point slope, y minus y1 equals to m parentheses x minus x1. Y minus 0 equals to 60 times x minus 0. That gives you y minus 0, which is 0. Y minus 0 is just 0, equals to 60x minus 0. That gives you y equals 60x. Okay, the 0 isn't there. That's your answer. Okay, and then the second graph is from 2 to 6 hours. So 2 to 6 hours in math. That's the domain. Okay, easy, it's a horizontal line, so it's just y equals to 120. Yay. Okay, and then the last one is 6 to 9 hours. No. Okay, 6 to 9 hours. We choose two of the points, either 9, 0 and 6, 120 is good. And 6, 120. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll write it here just on top. Okay. So first I find slope. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that is 120 minus 0 over 6 minus 9. Okay, that gives me slope as 120 over negative 3 or negative 40. Making sure negative means going down, and it is heading home at going down. And then I use point slope. Y2, I'm sorry, y, not y, y minus y1 equals to m parentheses x minus x1. That gives me y minus y1, which is, I'll use the 0. Here's x1, y1. Minus 0 equals to m, which is negative 40, parentheses x minus x1, which is 9. Okay. So if you like to keep the 0 until the very end to show all your step, you're uncomfortable getting rid of it, okay, that's negative 40x because we distribute. That gives you a positive 36. Okay, and then you can do add 0 if it makes you comfortable, but you really don't need to. Y equals to, I forgot to put a 0. Sorry. Negative 40x plus 360. And that is the last equation. So please box your answer, especially with all this mess, to tell me which one is the equation. Okay, number 2 here. We did this in class. We'll do it again. Okay, Mrs. Wilcox math class, keep a flower garden in front of the building. The garden is shown to the right, and it shows, and its dimension are shown. Okay. Class wants, oh, I hate the sound effect thing. Class wants to install a 3-foot high picket fence around the garden to keep students from stepping into the flowers. The picket fence, they need cost $5 a linear foot. Okay. How much will the fence cost? Do not include sales tax. Show your work. Okay, first of all, how much did the fence cost? Well, this side of the fence is 12 feet. Now it costs $5 per linear foot. If it's 12 feet, I would do 12 times $5 to find out how much that piece costs, plus this 9 foot. Now it's $5 per foot, so I times it by 5, and then here's the missing piece, is this one. Otherwise, kids can still go in there. In order to get that piece, I need to do a squared plus b squared equals to c squared. That's 12 plus 9 squared equals to c squared, 144, plus 81 equals to c squared. That is 226 equals to c squared. Take the square root. 225. Oh my gosh, I had it wrong. So c is 15 feet. This is 15 feet. 15, so plus 15 feet times $5 per square foot for that length. This is $60 for just the 12 foot, $45 just for the 9 foot. Now for the 15 feet, it is $75. And it says, how much will the fence cost? Okay, well, the fence costs $180 total. Okay, so you need to put the fence will cost $180. And justifying for me for this problem is all this work, you know. I don't need any more words, I'm sorry. Orville and Jerry went, why does the sound effects? Orville and Jerry want to put a custom-made round table in their dining room. The tabletop is made of glass with a diameter of 85. So the whole table is 85 inches. The front door is 30. Okay, here's the front door. is 36 inches, 36 inches wide, and 80 feet tall. Okay, 80 inches, sorry, gosh. Okay, we'll put the 2 thing for inches, okay? Orville thinks the tabletop will fit through the door, but Jerry does not. Who is correct and why? Well, let's do the Pythagorean theorem, see how long because we're going to turn this table sideways. When you bring things in, we don't bring it directly, we bring it sideways. So we need to find CA squared plus B squared equals to C squared. Okay, I didn't even touch the screen. 80 squared plus 36 squared equals to C squared. That's 40 plus 36 squared. Will it work? I should have a calculator. Ha! Do. Does it work? Yes. 36 times 36. Okay, that is 1296 equals to C squared. Add it to 6,400 equals 7696 square root it, you get 87.72, about that much. Okay, square root, don't forget that work. The door will fit because, Orville is correct. Orville's my husband's name. Glad to see that he's correct. Orville is correct because the door is 87.7 inches diagonally, which the 85-inch table can fit in. If turned diagonally. Okay, and that's it.